Hey, so the other day I was talking about intuition and why it's so important to follow our intuition and tap into that place inside of us where our gut feeling is really strong and we're moving out of listening to the mind and all the noise in our monkey head and actually listening to our gut and our heart and our soul, right? But this leads us to the question of how do we trust? How do we start to trust that voice of intuition? Because a lot of times it's going to tell us things that don't make a lot of sense and things that pretty much get us out of our comfort zone. And so developing self trust is super key towards following your soul's path and your soul's purpose and towards getting out of your comfort zone, really, and taking risks and doing the things that are going to help you rise up and grow to a new level in your life and take on those challenges. You have to trust yourself. So, how do we do this? One really key way to build self trust is through consistency. What do I mean by consistency? I mean, what you say, what you think, what you feel, and what you do are in line. So you understand, it starts with self knowledge. You understand who you are, what you value, what your values are, what you stand for, and you act in the world in alignment with those things. One quote I really love by Gandhi, it's essentially that. It's, happiness is when your thoughts, words, and your actions are in line. And I love that because it's so easy to see a lot of times in life when we're not happy, when things just feel off and we feel weird and like, what's going on? We can see how, oh my God, well, what I'm doing is different from what I'm thinking or what I'm saying. Like I'm actually acting out of alignment with what I really feel and believe, or I'm saying something that isn't really me. And this leads to this cognitive and emotional dissonance inside of us and spiritual dissonance where we're not actually being our true self. So being consistent, knowing what you stand for, what you align with, and acting in ways that are congruent with who you are and what your truth is, that's the way that we develop self-trust because we're constantly showing ourselves, hey, this is me. So for example, if someone's crossing a boundary of ours, we know what that boundary is. Let's say we work with a client who's taking advantage of our time, or something like this, or someone in our life who's an energy vampire, stealing our time and our energy. To be in alignment and consistent with our truth would be to have the hard conversation and say how we feel to that person, or to set that boundary and say, this is not what I'm going to allow into my life. That's consistent. That builds self-trust because even though it's hard in the moment to have that conversation, we're showing ourselves, hey, this matters to me. My truth, my power is more important than pleasing this person in the moment. And this gets into people pleasing and how all of that stuff is just going to drain our energy and our power and our sense of trust. I've gone through these periods of my life where I was out of alignment and saying and doing things that were different from what I actually thought and felt inside. And that leads to not trust ourselves. We lose track of who we are. At the end of the day, we feel alone and empty in this void because, wow, who am I really? And what do I stand for? So really taking the time to connect back in, heal those wounds, heal the, not so much healing, but just awareness. That's what consciousness and awareness is, right? When we know who we are, what we stand for, we act in alignment with that. So just ask yourself, are you being consistent with who you are, what you stand for, what your values are? Where are you out of alignment? Where is there inconsistency happening right now? And how could you bring that back in one line so that you can increase your power and your clarity and your sense of trust? Because when your trust is high, when your trust in yourself is strong, you're able to listen to your intuition and follow the seemingly wild path that it leads you on. That's really the path of discovery and abundance and amazingness. So, hope you find some light in that.